Hey guys, welcome to Valken Debrief episode 16, beautiful Colorado Ranch, coming to you live on Facebook. We have a very special guest joining Valken Actual and myself today. We have Karl Urban.
Hello.
From BB Dynamics.
Any relation to the Karl Urban?
No, I wish. But I get it all the time. Or Keith Urban, that too.
Isn't it like Urban? Isn't that how his last name's pronounced?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
No clue.
So before we get started, last week we gave out, we did a contest for anybody that shared the video. You got a free Alliance beanie and patch. And so we're going to announce the winner, Ryan Marcus. Thank you for sharing. You're always a dedicated viewer. We love having you here. So please Facebook message us here at the Valken Airsoft Facebook account with name, address, email, phone number, and we'll get those shipped out to you right away. So, but before we get into our first topic of the day, let's talk about where some of our Alliance athletes and teams are at this weekend. Dire Wolves is at two locations. The majority of the team is going to be at Siege Airsoft in Toronto, Ontario. They're going to be doing some open play, but Bacon, who was with us last week, their team leader, is going to be at Blackline Simulations in Toronto for Exercise Civic Burden. And we also have Les Trooper. She's going to be at Hollywood Sports Park all weekend. Open play. She's got some swag. Hit her up. And make sure you get the pew-pew on camera of you hitting her out, pulling her dead rag. That's always awesome. And Tap Airsoft out in Florida, they're going to be at Hot Shots Paintball in Loxahatchee, Florida. I got that out. I know, that was a big word.
That's a name.
I got that all out. So, and they're going to be out there for open play as well. So, hey everyone. Hey, Kaylee just joined. She's down there in the comments. So, look for her, Hollywood Sports Park. So, Karl, how'd you get into airsoft, man?
A long time ago. Let's see. I'm 24 now, and started probably playing when I was 14 or so. Honestly, just played. This is terrible. Don't do this. Just played like in your front street, pretty much, with like all your neighborhood kids, and like luckily our neighbors were really, relaxed about it. But we just shoot each other like along our street, which is, that's just how we play.
So just like that Facebook video animation that's been circling.
Yes!
The story of how I got into airsoft. And,
Yes.
And for a lot of us older ones, it's almost exactly how it happened and how you're not supposed to.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not the right way to go. I mean, I just didn't know about it, and I guess, even before being younger, playing Nerf, and was like, we wanted something that'd shoot farther, and because like 30 feet isn't the greatest. You want to hit people at a good distance. So yeah, we started
to do the pellet gun 2-pump, 3-pump rule.
Oh,
I pumped it 3 times.
We had this big field in front of our house growing up that was undeveloped, and gourds. You know what gourds are? They're like little mini squashes.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
just
isn't it kind of a fruit? Or
yeah. We would just throw those at each other.
You're so poor, you just throw stuff at each other.
Yeah, we're just so poor. But you always knew where. Remember, you always knew where all the kids were in the neighborhood because all the bikes would be piled up in front of that house. Oh goodness, that's awesome. What was the first gun you ever had?
I actually still have it to this day, and it is I think it's a JG M14 full size. But yeah, I still have it to this day. Broken, of course. I don't feel like working on a version 7, but
They're so easy. They're tiny. They're tiny.
So, when did you start like really expanding like your loadout beyond that? When you first felt like
the first beginner zip up cross draw vest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like first time I actually started getting like serious about, I guess, airsoft. I'd probably say at least 4 years ago, probably at DMZ. It was like the first time I started going, and then just continued to go there, and it became addicting. And obviously, as airsoft is,
keep buying more stuff,
keep diving into it, and before you know it, you own way too much stuff. So,
and for some reason, we can never get rid of it.
Right?
Yeah, I have like a like if I was to put all my airsoft stuff in one place, I probably would fill up like one of those 8x10 storage units.
Oh wow!
No lie.
He's scary.
No lie.
If you're just joining us, thank you for joining us at Valken Debrief episode 16. We're here with Karl Urban from BB Dynamics. They do a lot of media work in the airsoft community. So please like and share the video. We'll be giving away some other items today. We'll let you know, but everyone that shares the video will get a chance to win. And so if you got a question for Karl about BB Dynamics, his media company, put him in the comments below, and we'll ask Karl to answer them for us.
I'm excited.
So, you've been to a milsim before? Yeah?
Oh yeah, plenty.
Plenty, yes.
Oh, plenty.
What was the very first milsim, and I mean, how was it?
The first major game, okay, it was coming from like the older school crowds, because I know like you've been playing forever, and you've been playing forever, and I mean, I honestly haven't been playing like milsim super long. My first major event was Cop Red 1, and it was a blast. I mean, I still consider it to my day as one of like my favorite milsim I've gone to, just because I think it was that first sweet taste of like how much fun and how awesome and just like a good time with friends is at a milsim game.
And which faction were you at Copperhead 1?
I was UFS. So I was like, I remember from back in the day. Yeah.
Yep.
Back in the Copperhead.
Yeah, we were in the same faction.
I know, but 3 years, like back in the day, really.
Okay, wasn't that long. That long. But,
so how many milsim events do you think you've gone to
after that?
one?
Probably say at least another 7 or 8 games.
Are you like one of those dudes that has like all the stars?
All the stars, yeah, on the back panel.
Yeah, those guys that have a whole back panel filled up. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I had a lot of friends that were the first 5. So when they first did the first swap out to the 5-star pip. So
right, I got a few from AMS and Rhodesian Revolt and things like that.
You ever get a black sheep one?
No, no.
One of those yellow ones, I have one somewhere. It's a relic from a time long past.
What are you talking about? We are relics.
Right?
Come on.
Well, a game.
I know.
A game that's come and gone. It's
I know. Aaron actually asks, have you ever had a lens break or have a BB scratch a lens?
No. There's obviously...
Knock on wood.
Yeah, no kidding. Knock on wood. I've had close encounters. You just kind of learn as you get into the doing it of where to stand and where not to stand, and especially with like the lens you're working with on distance that you can zoom with. You kind of learn of where to stand, where not to stand. I have personally not had a close encounter of shattering a lens, but actually last week at Operation Medusa, I luckily put the lens cap on and was starting to climb a hill, and it was at the Rock Airsoft, obviously being super rocky everywhere. Yeah. And started sliding down this hill, and the lens cap hit the front of a rock, and I was just like, thank you. Thank you for putting that on.
That glass is expensive.
Yeah. So, no, I have not came close to getting one shot out, though.
Oh, that's good. That's good. When did BB Dynamics start, and what gave you that idea?
BB Dynamics started, I believe it was like January 30th or 31st of 2 years ago, so 2015.
2015?
Yeah,
okay.
I believe. I don't know. I saw just an opportunity for like I've seen other companies take photos out, like Airsoft Obsessed and Milsim Media, and they do awesome work. But I just kind of wanted to show what Airsoft was like here, kind of in the Midwest, because we didn't really have a person that would take photos of like what are games like in Colorado, what is Airsoft like in Utah. Like I haven't really seen a name for showing what Airsoft is like in this kind of region of the country, and so I saw my opportunity and I was like, I'm just gonna dive in.
So you're already spending a crap ton of money on Airsoft, and you think spending a crap ton of money on media equipment
totally worth it.
Was a good idea.
You gotta you do weddings or something, right? Like
totally
there's gotta be like you gotta supplement that. And pay for that equipment.
I always see Derek from Moguns. I see him at Comic-Cons doing
yeah.
photo shoots. I mean, that guy, he's, besides Moga and Stackle, he's always all over the place taking pictures.
He's a young entrepreneur. He's the definition of entrepreneur.
Yeah, done some work with Derek, obviously, because a good friend, not just a business partner, but a good friend. Do other photography work for local businesses here in Colorado Springs, so that's how I'm able to afford to do some of this stuff.
So for local in the region, Airsoft, what would you say that you tell them that you do when it comes to BB Dynamics for Airsoft?
What I do for Airsoft is my main idea was to take photos of the players and show, like I said, what kind of Airsoft games and events we're having here in Colorado Springs. And I just wanted to really promote and show, other people playing these games, because everybody loves seeing them in full kit and playing at a Milsim event in an image.
Right.
So,
are we talking just stills, video, aerial? What all can you do?
I do a lot of images now. I'm working, actually going to school for video and stuff like that next semester, so that's cool. I've done video work, but I guess I just want to sharpen my skills a little bit before I, really start producing. But yeah, mainly right now it's just mostly photography.
Gotcha. One of the guys is asking, they'll be photographing an op in early December, Overwatch 4.
Oh, nice.
And do you have any tips, for them? Because I guess they might have one of their team members, do like the media thing to kind of catch pictures of them. What would you suggest to that photographer?
I would say, if you can afford it, get a lens that actually can get some really good depth of field and just zoom capability in general, so that you're f-stop, exactly. Yeah. So you're just not in the way of the players playing, because I see a lot of people, they'll get kind of in the way or kind of close, and and the players yelling at them like, "Hey, get out of the way!" I'm trying to shoot that guy literally right behind you or in front of you, and there's always. And that's just the depth of field as well. Like I said, with f-stop, that's what makes a good photo.
A lot of the guys who are really, really good at it have telephoto lenses.
Right.
I've seen Dave, Lauren from Evic. Those guys have, really nice telephoto setups. Another thing I've seen is they'll use circular polarized lenses, so that will limit the amount of light so you don't get washed out, and then allows you to open up the aperture to really capture everything. So it's like telephoto lens, like you said, and then it's really it's a combination of settings and lenses, and that circular polarizer or UV lens is a good sacrificial lens, because I know some guys that have lost, have had some close calls, and the sacrificial lens has saved their equipment.
Yeah.
Earlier this month, I actually got to step on the pro field at the NXL World Cup, and you want to think BB strikes on a camera is interesting, but when you're compensating for paint and stuff like that, it's
I can't imagine.
I see some really cool setups. I see some like one of our guys cuts a hole in like a Valken paint box, so just the lens is sticking out, and they cover. It's like it's pretty cool. But there are ways to do it and get really cool shots. But you're dead on with not interfering with gameplay, because nothing drives me nuts than you have that suspension of disbelief totally halted by some guy in an orange vest walking across your line of fire. And it's like, and I know that they just don't know. It's not malicious or anything like that, but.
Or like you're trying to sneak up on something, and then all of a sudden you got to...
Yeah, someone's sitting there going like this. You're in the grass, and there's a cameraman standing on top of you, and it's like... I have a great meme for that, too. It's from Strike Back. It's my face when the cameraman gets way back position. That was a funny one. What do you think about... I know Milsom West does it, and Jet and Leah have been doing it a lot. I think it's really cool. It's kind of like having an embedded photographer. A war journalist.
Yeah.
In
character.
In character. I haven't seen any of the videos. What's the name? Walter Cronkite or BB Minutes or something? I can't remember exactly what it's called, because I haven't seen any of those yet. But mustache and everything. And I think that makes the media aspect in gameplay even more fun.
JM Photography does that. He dressed up like a UN.
Yeah. Or just having, the war correspondent out there and having stuff going on in the background while you're talking.
I've talked about it with Ross from JTech. It was like, it'd be cool to do a game style type of, like inside of, like a journalist perspective. That'd be cool. That'd definitely be cool.
That's cool. What have been some of the challenges that you've had to face with trying to balance media and Airsoft?
I guess just like I said, it's just learning of what to do and not to do, because you don't want to interfere with somebody's gameplay, and then just obviously growing your talent over time. So like you'll go to do a photo shoot of an event or something like that, and you're like, you'll look back at your photos and be like, I could have done this better, or I could have done that better, or and just knowing certain places, like I said, where to stand at the right time is all capturing that moment of.
And that's just something you just learn with experience.
I think so. Basically, equipment obviously is a big thing, but experience is a lot of it.
There was a comment made a couple years ago by Level Cap, when he did his video about.
Huge fan.
Oh yeah, just all stuff from Legos to
Yeah.
the game videos, and then when he did Airsoft for a bit. In a conversation with him before he released his explanation of why he got out of Airsoft, because it wasn't fun anymore. It's like your fun is totally just dampened, or evaporates because your camera's not working, or your car's corrupted, and everything's just not gelling, and then it that would ruin his fun. Do you find that the same for you? Like, how do you balance still having fun while managing all of these things that you got to turn on and off, and are they charged, and the battery dead?
I've absolutely completely experienced that. It just is having, I guess the main thing when it comes to that, like complications of equipment, is just preparing yourself to know that it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So just have spares. That's the most simple answer I can say, is like always spare memory cards, always spare batteries, always. I'll even run like complete spare backup cameras for gameplay videos, because I do a little bit of it, but
do you do continuous recording, or do you shut stuff on and off?
It makes it easy with Adobe Premiere, because you can obviously just sync all the video together, so you can kind of just leave it running. Mm-hmm. But I've seen people like Swamp Sniper, where it looks like in his videos, every time he goes to get a kill, he's like, turn on, turn off.
With the GoPro, I use the remote. So like, if I'm patrolling or something really boring, it's off or on standby.
Yeah.
And then you hit, it's like, ooh, it's about to get awesome.
Game time.
And then you hit the little button, and that's how I usually manage it. But that's the one camera.
I must be lazy, because like I'll set my GoPro to take a still like every 15 seconds. So at the end of a day, I'll have like 2,000 photos, and then I'll get like
first-person shooter lag.
Well, no, because I actually have the timer on, so I can hear it,
okay.
and so I can hear the little countdown, and then I know to stop moving. But I get about 10% a day out of 2,000 shots that I can post up and let people tag. Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, there was a question on here earlier. Do you edit the photos after you do an event, or do you just post them unedited, or what do you do?
It honestly kind of depends. So like if we go to like the local field of Kiowa Creek, for example, that you guys had on here a few weeks ago. If I go to Kiowa Creek and just go out there to just take photos just for fun, I'll usually just leave them unedited. Obviously delete like the blurries.
Right.
But yeah, just unedited, I'll edit them, just upload them. Like instance for Operation Medusa that I just did last week with JTAC at the Rock Airsoft, those I'll actually edit and watermark and things like that. So
and the editing is everybody. I know after an event, everybody's like, "Where are the photos? Where are the photos?" It's like, okay, you want washed out? Like we need to do some contrast and some color correction here to make them look, really good.
Give me a sec.
But yeah, that takes a while because it's so boring. You gotta sit there and be like, go through each one.
Right.
But it's what people don't know what's happening on the other side of that.
Yeah, especially when you take 2,000 images a game, or for at least in a day, in a 2-day op, then you're sitting there for hours looking at images.
Yeah.
So
Brett, he says he knows you take player and team photos at events that you're already at. What about taking photos that are not event related? Like if a team just wanted to schedule a photo shoot, are you open to doing that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, you can just contact me directly, but yeah, that's definitely possible.
How do players and teams contact you?
They can contact me through BB Dynamics Facebook page or the Instagram. That is totally the easiest way to.
Oh, come on! You don't have a domain and everything.
So I mean, my email too is let me see, bbdynamicsairsoft@gmail.com. So
cool. You can get a domain through Gmail.
Awesome.
True. I'm just
true.
I'm just messing.
Where do you hope to see BB Dynamics like 3-5 years from now?
That's kind of. I mean, I guess for me, I've just been kind of thinking about it as I go. I mean, like kind of what my next step is. I haven't really set a future like really high goal of like this is where I want to be in 5 years.
You're still having fun.
Yeah, because exactly. It's like, yeah, I'm still really enjoying doing it and doing both. Like I love going to events and being able to play and take photos, and it's a great time. But I would say in 3 or 5 years for me is obviously like establish a full studio that I can go to and work, for not just doing gameplay or out in the field game video and photo, but doing product photos and stuff like that too. So having a full studio set up, eventually hire, potentially another photographer or two.
Hashtag diversify.
Right.
Not just Airsoft. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, I do work for other local businesses now. So, yeah, I mean, expand that as well because that obviously makes money too. So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. If you guys are just now joining us for the Valken Debrief, we're doing it live here, episode 16 at the beautiful Colorado Ranch with Karl from BB Dynamics. We've been talking to him about media and Airsoft. And before we move on to our second topic, we're going to be giving away for this week a pair of our hard knuckle Zulu gloves. So being a chance to win that, just share this video, like and share, and from all the shares next week, we'll be giving away a winner for a pair of Zulu gloves. And last week, Ryan Marcus won a Alliance beanie and patch, so we'll get that out to him too.
So hit us up.
Yeah. So, topic number 2.
No, you want me to do this?
Yes, I want you to do this. They're
You should be able to do it because you watched the video.
I didn't have time to watch all the video.
Okay. So it was funny. So it was coming up in the notes for planning for the show, and then they wanted to do this. What was it? Player or participant?
Yes. Or no, participant or customer.
Customer. Okay.
Yes.
So once upon a time did a show called Airsoft Table Talk, and it was actually our first episode, player versus participant, and opened it up to comments, and of course, Karl and Kaiju here, but the concept behind games in the US and how people play those games, you have players or customers that want to play in a game and they want to be entertained and they feel the missions are assigned to them and that the experience is tailored, like as if you were going to go to an amusement park. So there are customers always right, the customer can complain, so on and so forth. But a participant is kind of like role players, reenactors, people looking for immersion that lend themselves to the game as a whole, and go with the spirit of the game. So really strict gear, weapon requirements, uniforms, more complex hit rules. And people have fun with that, but it's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. So you get people that cross over, and it's really just people want to, people just have to really understand something's not for them. But you can't go to, you can't do like for instance NATO with Milsom West, and I don't want to wear that. Or I don't have an LBV, or I don't want to wear a K. I don't want to wear a K-pod. I don't want to. Well, my first experience with that was pretty cool because I think we were rebels or something like that. And at night, not everybody has night vision, but you can tell from silhouettes in their gear who they are in the dark. And it was just that whole experience. It's like, oh, look, moving bodies. That's not an AK. That's an M4.
That's a bad guy.
Oh, that's a bad guy. Yeah. So it really just kind of boils down to, you've got promoters that stick to their guns, and then that's the experience, and you're participating in that event and experience, or do you just want a BB slugfest and it be like a catered event, and then that makes you a player / customer.
Yeah, I think that, I highly respect game hosts out there, Milsim West, American Milsim, Doomsday Airsoft, because they have to define that fine line between participant and player. And with the growing popularity of milsim games, it's hard for those hosts and those admins, I think, to balance both worlds in a single event.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What have you seen out there?
Just like Milsim West's Insurgency games, that's tough. That is a lot of organization to do a game like that, and and just have everybody still being in character and stuff like that for the entire event, and it looks like personally it looks like a lot of fun. I would love to do something where involving with the role play for the whole scenario part, because I like getting into it too.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Did you do Rhodesian Revolt?
Yeah, the first one, I believe.
Oh, the first one. So that was when it was at its height of role playing. Yeah, the town was awesome. That to me is like a participation game because it's focused more on the role playing and the mechanics inside the game, not so much shooting.
Right.
The year I went, it was kind of a lot had happened with the weather and the AO and what was Weapon Blender was they're just all really stressed and so it wasn't to its grand scale as it had been the first couple of years, but it wasn't bad by any means. It's just from what I'd heard from people's experiences, and it was just so much fun. The characters, they just stayed in character. It was so much fun. But there was a couple guys there that went on the military side or the paramilitary side, and they wanted to shoot more. Right. They're like, this is stupid. I don't want to go here and do this and negotiate that. I want to shoot people. It's well, you signed up for a role playing game.
Yeah.
And they stress it from the very beginning. If you like to do X, Y, and Z, this game might not be for you. But if you want to try something new, or if this is your, if this is your style, your flair, and I think with Desert Fox events.
Oh, Desert Fox Airsoft
Trackers. I was watching Jet's video the other day where they were talking about the different factions, and
those are interesting.
Them being corporations, which they're called proxy battles, by the way, Jet.
Ignore him. It's okay.
Well, when you talk about mercenaries fighting on the behest of corporations, it's called a proxy war. Sorry. And I really like how they're opening up, customizing the gun with the colorways that you give, and customizing your gear to differentiate the two factions and step outside of the norm of what people see as milsim, but still having the structure and the organization and everything. And of course, with the app is just going to be the next revolutionary thing.
Yeah.
But I was watching that, I'm like, oh, I want to go.
Yeah.
If you're curious about what Josh is talking about, it's the Blue Fox Tracker. That's app that's being put out by Desert Fox Airsoft Events, and it's just amazing. Just Google YouTube, you'll see some videos talking about it. We're very excited about it, about where it's going in 2018 to the next level.
I think that'll be a participant.
Yes,
I think
that is more of a participant,
because that opens up to more role playing and individuality, but staying within a structure. It's not confined or limiting, but it's still structured.
Jet said, "War never changes. You can call it whatever you want, Josh."
Still BB Wars.
Still BB War.
At the end of the day, it's still BB Wars.
It's still BB Wars. That's right. Because, I know me and my buddy Woodcock, we volunteer for the leadership side, the participant side, and I've always found it difficult, and Woody could probably chime in on his opinion too, is as a leader, what's very hard is you're a participant and you're looking at everybody else as a participant, but you get somebody that's just there to play like their squad, like, you can't tell us what to do. We're just here to play. We're just going to go play over there.
Right.
I'm like, what?
And then you have command, like...
I know, right? It's, you know, and I get it.
And then they get mad, like, we need support. We need over here. It's like, you guys are doing your own thing, remember?
But where did they go?
We're trying to organize this push over here.
Yeah. And that's what's...
Why don't you come over here?
And that's what's hard. You know, we've all paid to have that experience, but when other people are there for different expectations, it's just like you got the game host that's caught in the middle that's just trying to give the best experience to both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so I think we've reached the end of this week's episode. So, Carl...
Wait.
Carl, thanks for joining us this week.
No problem.
Thank you all for everyone joining us today for Valken Debrief episode 16. Here from the beautiful Colorado. He's going to take that Red Bull with him. Be sure to like and share the video. Get a chance to win a pair of Zulu gloves. And we'll see you guys next week on episode 17. Thanks for joining us.